Well, this is a painting I just finished a few days ago. It was taken from a photograph, and but I'm not particularly happy with the edges, so I want to finish the edges. But we moved to a few months after I was born. My father, mother, and myself moved to Santry Cottage, and then as Gordon's family got bigger, we moved to 58 North Great Charter Street, just the corner of Mountjoy Square. And then in 1931, the year before the Congress, we moved to Three Lakes Road, Cabra. Well, Noel, of course, moved to Birmingham shortly after the war, where he met Garrett Phyllis, a lovely person. They got married, and unfortunately they had no children. He died after playing a game of bowls a couple of years ago. Bernard, another brother, he moved to England and joined the Royal Air Force. And anyway, he died with cancer a few years ago. Rita she was a year younger than I was, and she married, and they had one son, Bryn, and she died, had a heart attack having a bath. Vincent, I didn't know very much about Vincent because he was sort of a loner, you know, he kept to himself a lot. Well, Sean got dementia. He was about 5 years with it before he died. Vincent got dementia, but he died of cancer, tumor, the brain tumor. You can also lose your memory without ever getting dementia at all, memory loss, which all elderly people suffer with. But if someone in the family has dementia, well, then they go through a terrible time, you know. I'm no good at drawing, sketching. So that's why I would never be any good at portraiture. I'd like to be able to do portrait of different people, you know, and that. But I went to a dance with my brother Sean in the Iron Hall, I think it was, in Grandad Square, and I had never danced, I never learned to dance. And anyway, we're coming home, and I made a date, and that was oh, that was a big disappointment. He was born, and he was after. I think he was about 4 years of age, when we were told that he was mentally handicapped. First, I put him into Stuart's Institute in Palmerston, and they took him out of there then, and he was admitted to the, used to be called the Little Willie Baldoyle Hospital, Little Willie Hospital, and he was there for a few years, and then a cousin of mine, Father Francis McNamara, knew somebody in the St. John of God's order, and he was able to have him admitted to St. John of God's in Drumcar, County Louth, where he is still today. Well, of course, I've worked in Guinness, you know, for 38 years working in Guinness. And we used to go to Kilmainham Jail. I was doing cinematography at the time, and I wanted to get a shot of the cell where Patrick Pearse was confined before his execution. So, and also the yard where the leaders were executed by firing as well. And I went in, signed up my name, and I was accepted as a worker. And then I was a worker for about 3 or 4 years. Then I became a worker guide. And with my shift work and that in the in Guinness's. I wasn't able to do both, so I just did guide. So I was a guide for till 1983 when I left. Well, I always believe that this should always, as well as keeping your body active, you keep your brain active, and vice versa. So, like, there's no use in jogging and all that sort of thing, keeping your body fit if you go and sit down and look at television all day. I made lampshades, and I did cine photography, made home movies, and I made winemaking and photography, still photography, and art. I did 3 courses on computers, in 2 in Glass, 2 in Ballyfermot, and 1 in Green Hills College. But that was a good many years ago. The reason why I was doing the computers was that I was doing I was researching my family tree at the time, so I had to know how to use a computer. My mother had a cousin, and her name is Bridget Dowling. And when she was 17 years of age, her father, Morris, took her to the horse show in the RDS Ballsbridge. And while there, they met and became friendly with a man who was immaculately dressed. And he said he was an Austrian businessman home to set up hotels here in Ireland. So they were talking, so he asked Bridget's father if he could take his daughter out, and reluctantly he said yes, he would. Yes, he could. So he took her out, and then they met then. They used to meet in the National Art Gallery and various other places, and they eloped anyway. And in 1910 they were married. But the father discovered that he wasn't a businessman at all, that he was a waiter in the Shelburne Hotel. And his name was Alois Hitler. He was the eldest stepbrother of Adolf Hitler, the notorious leader during the Second World War. I would like to live to see the 100th anniversary of the 1916 Rising. That is in April next year. Well, I hope so. You can never say you will in this life. I hope so.